This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Trying to get it under his control.
Eight confirmed dead as Alakija rescue efforts continue.
Six more Nigerians return home from South Africa safely.
Oyo State government extends curfew across 10 border councils.
And on Good Morning Nigeria today, we shall focus on Nupe Day 2026.
All right, and so 26th June has become more than just another date on the calendar, and that's for the Nupe people. It has become a symbol of identity, resilience, and cultural pride.
Indeed, Nupe Day commemorates a remarkable moment in history when the Nupe cavalry defeated the British military force at Ugidi in present-day Kogi State, and that was in 1896. Seizing the Union Jack and recording one of Africa's most celebrated acts of resistance against colonial expansion.
So today, that historic victory has evolved into an annual celebration of heritage, bringing together generations of Nupe sons and daughters to honor their roots, preserve their language, and showcase the richness of their traditions.
Yeah, it's really a celebration that is very colorful with cultural displays and traditional dances, as well as lectures, exhibitions, awards, sporting activities, and the famous Doba and regatta spectacles. Nupe Day is a vibrant expression of a people determined to keep their history alive.
Now, the festivities begin with prayers in churches and mosques, reflecting the unity and shared values of the community.
And under the leadership of the Esu Nupe, His Royal Highness Yahaya Abubakar, the event continues to serve as a platform for cultural preservation, youth engagement, and meaningful conversations about the future of Nupe land.
Now, looking ahead, excitement is already building for Nupe Day 2026. The ceremony is designed to promote cultural awareness and strengthen community bonds.
There will also be performances, educational activities, and opportunities for people from all backgrounds to experience the beauty of Nupe culture.
And beyond the festivities, Nupe Day remains a living testament to the courage of the past, the unity of the present, and the promise of an even brighter future for generations to come. So it is all about Nupe Day today on Good Morning Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. I am Victor Azu.
It's almost like we know the Nupe people like the back of our palms these days. I mean, we always talk about them whenever they have this celebration. And beautiful to see that this year, 2026, we're also going to be part of the celebration.
And last year it was low-key. Can't remember the reason now, but it was low-key last year. I hope that this year, it will come in its full glory.
Of course, when the guests come in, would get all the details as regards that. I hope you'll be part of the dances and the cultural display.
Well, once I'm dressed like the Nupe man, I'll join them.
All right. I intend to get my attire today, just so I can, fully get involved in all the celebration. I'm Ian Ray John. Thank you for joining us this Friday. The weekend is starting. I'm super excited. Hope you are too. We're live on the network service of the NTA. This is Africa's largest TV network. This Pro Review will hit you shortly, and that's when Chukwudi Abuja joins us right here. But for now, we have Musa Abubakar sitting really pretty, or should I say handsome this morning. Musa, good to see you. How is the weather, by the way?
Good to see you as well. And this is the part where I would say Ekube Laji to both of you. Ekube Laji means good morning to both of you. That's since you're talking about Nupe Day. Okay, here's the news. It was a tragic rainy day in Lagos on Thursday when a three-story building collapsed in Alakija area of the state. Larry Igbele was at the scene of the disaster and reports that rescue and recovery operations by emergency responders are ongoing.
So far, 26 persons have been rescued and 8 bodies dead. So for now, they have been taken the dead bodies, and then those that are not dead have been taken to different hospitals.
Some defect in the structure. I mean, a few days to this collapse. I heard somebody telling me that even when you are climbing the step, you will see the integrity of the step being compromised.
Meanwhile, Rivers State also experienced a building collapse. The state governor, Sumine Lai Fubara, ordered complete seal off of the site of a 5-story building which collapsed in Port Harcourt, killing 1 person and injuring several others. The governor, who visited the site to assess the situation, directed that the area remains sealed till government ascertains more facts on the root cause of the incident.
At this point, nothing is going to happen on this site anymore. We're going to make sure that this place is completely sealed off until we get to the root cause of this incident. Our condolences to the deceased families.
In the meantime, the Red Cross Society of Nigeria has decorated First Lady Oluremi Tinubu as its Grand Matron. At the investiture ceremony held in her office, the First Lady harps on the need to change youth mindset by promoting their engagement with voluntary organizations.
When we had the incidents of the bomb blast in Lagos, I went to the field with them with the uniform because it's an organization I'm proud to be affiliated. We are looking at breathing life into charity organizations for our young people. When you start very young to care, it doesn't become too hard when you grow older. Organizations like this will help young people who has a lot of energy to actually care.
Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde has approved the extension of the curfew imposed on 10 local government areas bordering the Old Oyo National Park by 24 hours. Recall that Oyo State Government had announced the 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. curfew in the 10 local government areas on June 23, 2026. In a memo issued by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Misbah Babatunde, with this extension, the curfew, which was to last for 48 hours in the first instance, will continue till Saturday, June 27, 2026. The federal government has directed the activation of the Fusion and Trigger Room concept for the coordination and early action to combat flooding in Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima gave the directive during a meeting of the Anticipatory Action Task Force at the Presidential Villa.
Governors have to come on board. Local government chairmen have to marry themselves to our goals. And I call on our state governors and state institutions to participate actively and to lead implementation within their jurisdiction. Federal coordination on its own will never be sufficient. As chairman of the National Coordination Effort, I will continue to engage with stakeholders to ensure that political leadership is translated into practical outcomes and into preparedness that can be measured on the ground.
Another batch of 66 Nigerians evacuated from South Africa arrived at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, on June 24, 2026, under a federal government-approved exercise aimed at ensuring the safety of citizens abroad. The evacuation, approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, followed the earlier return of 258 Nigerians on June 11 and was facilitated by ValueJet Chairman Kunle Tsunami, with support from officials of the Nigerian High Commission in South Africa. The returnees expressed gratitude to President Tinubu, Tsunami, NIDCOM and other government agencies for their roles in the successful operation. NIDCOM said efforts were ongoing to address logistical challenges, while the Minister of Foreign Affairs assured that all registered Nigerians would be evacuated. As part of reintegration support, Imo State indigents received 1 million naira each from Governor Hope Uzodinma, while MTN Nigeria provided SIM parks, data and cash support. Pastor Bolaji Ido also donated 100,000 naira to each returnee, who describes the assistance as a demonstration of the government's commitment to Nigerians everywhere. But that's the news at this time. Good morning, Nigeria continues after the break.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has resumed the third and final phase of the nationwide continuous voter registration CVR. The exercise, which commenced on Monday, 11th of May 2026, will close on Friday, 10th of July 2026, and is open to persons who have never registered before or turned 18 years after the last registration exercise. Intending voters can visit the INEC voter registration portal at www.cvr.inecnigeria.org to pre-register online. and proceed to complete the process at any INEC office to capture their fingerprints and photograph. Citizens can also register physically at any INEC state or LGA office. If your PVC is lost or damaged, do not register afresh. Simply visit the online registration portal or any INEC office and apply for a replacement. You can also T-transfer or update your personal information during this period. Make your voice heard. Get registered. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
TerraCube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
History isn't just written in books. It's painted on the grass. Every generation brings its own stroke of genius. The legends paved the way, but a new class of icons have arrived. Ready to leave their mark. Ready to make a statement. Expect the unexpected. Breathtaking goals that defy gravity. Drama that stops time. This is where the world comes to play. 3 host nations, 48 countries, countless colors, but only one ultimate dream. The 2026 FIFA World Cup. Witness history unfold live right here on Sporty TV and NTA.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
With a splash of golden Terra oil, mums make every dinner a grand family celebration. Her care nourishes you from within. And motivates the mind.
Mums pour pure love to make tasty, healthy, nourishing family meals.
Golden Terra oil.
Pour pure love.
You make choices every day. Your essential routine shouldn't be one of them. Start with Nivea Men Deep Body Lotion with Max Tech, powered by Black Carbon, that gives you 48 hours moisture. Then, lock in that powerful dark wood scent with Nivea Men Deep Roll-On with Max Tech that gives you 72 hours sweat and odor protection. Skin is for playing it smart. Nivea is for skin. Nivea Men, proud sponsors of Real Madrid.
TerraCube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Come on, let's go. Darling natural twists blend with her hair over time.
Yeah, that's perfect.
She's really more beautiful every week. Darling natural twists get better every day, just like you.
All right, this is Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA, in case you've just joined us. Up next on our program is the newspaper review.
All right, Chukwudi Okoli-Ogbaja is right here with us this morning. Chukwudi, good to see you. Thank God it's Friday.
Here. How are you doing?
Very well.
Good morning, Ere. Hello, Victor. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Same
I was
here.
just carried away by the headlines.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin with the new Nigerian newspaper this morning. The new Nigerian leads with Zulum shots Borno's largest IDP camp in Bama, says Goza next. All right, away from that, Middle Belt to form social political alliance with Hausa ahead of 2027. Interesting read. That will be page 14. Has all of that talking about the new Nigerian. And just looking below the picture story, poor awareness keeping PWDs out of elections, Tough Africa says. Customs CG Volleyball Premier League climaxes, curtains draw tomorrow. All right. Also, right here on the front page, medical team begins free respiratory disease treatment at Ebonyi Timber Shed. And finally, Governor Inuwa Yahaya highlights landmark land reforms, urban transformation in Gombe. All of that you can find on the new Nigerian this morning. Moving quickly to the Daily Times. The Daily Times leads with CBN orders banks to freeze assets of 6 individuals, 4 BDCs linked to terrorism financing. You want to see this, you want to get all the names of the 6 individuals, of course. The Daily Times has that for you. Above the masthead, CBN data order triggers new investment race as banks move to local servers. All right, that's about it on the front page. Something about syrup here. HRA urges fair appeal process in Syrup 100 million naira defamation case. All right, let's look below the picture story. The picture story on the front of the Daily Times is quite interesting. It has a picture of the CBN and, of course, is trying to tell you that something is going on, in terms of locking accounts, or if you like, season accounts. Xenophobia is also making the headlines this morning. Another batch of 66 Nigerian Britarians arrived from South Africa. All right. And finally, in a red strip, courts to deliver judgment September 29 in suit seeking fresh police probe of Mohbad. Okay. That's about it on the front page of the Daily Times. Victor, what do you have?
Well, I have the Leadership Friday, and the picture story dominates here, and that picture story details the scene of the collapsed 3-story shopping complex at Alakija in Oriade LCDA in Lagos. That was yesterday, where, of course, as we heard in the news, people have sadly been lost and some others injured. All right, and above that story in that green strip, 2 officers die as police rescued 9 kidnapped victims in Kaduna is on page 7. On page 4, we will approve state police bill. That's according to speakers. Benue, Plateau, Delta hail Senate's passage of bill. All right, above the nameplate, 8 dead, 26 rescued as Lagos shopping complex collapses. Okay, I guess that's linked to the picture story. All right, you get details on page 16. And the FIFA World Cup is still on with fixtures for today, showing Tunisia is playing against the Netherlands, Paraguay, Australia, Japan, Sweden, Senegal versus Iraq, Turkey versus the USA, and Norway versus France. All very important matches for football lovers, and you get details on pages 29 and 30. To the last set of stories. In business, Dangote cuts petrol gantry price to 1,125 per litre as oil hits pre-war levels. CBN moves against terrorism financing, seizes accounts of 6 suspects, 4 BDC operators. Details on page 19. An ICPC arraigns El Rufai ex-aide over alleged 8.6 billion naira CCTV contract fraud. That's on page 4. And finally from here, Yusuf sets up task force to combat drug abuse, trafficking in Kano. Chukode.
It was here that I read that my star governor, Zulum, has shot the largest IDP camp in Bono. Says Goza is next.
Yeah.
So the questions you ask is, these people in harm's way, these hapless Nigerians, is the situation better for them now?
Yes.
That's it. And if that is the case, it means that something is happening in the northeast that will salute the efforts of Nigeria and Nigerians to rein in insurgency and banditry in that zone. It is a very interesting and commendable development. And I pray that our brothers and sisters on that axis actually begin to see a better life. You know, one would like to sing happy survival to them, you know, and pray that it doesn't happen again. As the Igbo would say, Ozuemena, you know. That's a very good one coming from my star governor, okay? Now, Dangote cuts gantry petrol price to 1,125 per litre. Now, I said yesterday that by next week we are supposed to hit 1,150 naira. So if the gantry price is 1,125, it should now not be more than 1,180, you know, at the pumps.
1,200 maximum.
Exactly. But trust our people. They will always go to the rockets and feathers thing we talked about yesterday. When it is time to raise it because something happened, it shoots up like a rocket.
Immediately.
When it is time for it to go down, it flutters down. It doesn't go down like a rocket anymore. That's the rockets and feathers you know, theory. Anyway, the important thing is that petrol price is going down. Brent crude this morning, $73 something. Actually, it went down to pre-Iran war levels, but for the fact that Iran fired on a ship yesterday, and they are hoping that this was not authorized by the what do they call them now? The revolutionary, whatever is RGC. RGC. Where they're hoping that they didn't order that strike, that it is coming from lower ranks. Because if it's coming from the very top, that means they are still flexing muscles with the United States over we still have power. But look at what is going on.
That's funny.
Iran should not push its luck too much. 2 or 3 Gulf states are already seeking alternatives to the Strait of Hormuz. That's how human beings behave.
True.
If you hold it and think that Chukwudi will forever depend on you, he go tell you, say, he no go short, no can still get sense. He will look for other ways to survive. You understand? That's exactly what is happening there. And again, Iran should know that the rest of the world could get annoyed with it at a stage. So however they play their cards, they have to be careful about it.
You see, this stand you just took, or you're supporting, as regards the Strait of Hormuz, is the same stand I take when it comes to South African companies in Nigeria.
Exactly. It's the same thing. South Africa will eventually find out that it is shooting itself in the foot. Yes.
66 more Nigerians back home from South Africa.
Just hold on. When you say the IRG says, oh, we didn't authorize it, it may have come from the lower ranks that are not part of the core.
No, the thing is
that are civilians or militants.
The thing is,
so who authorized it?
You
are not in Iran.
Nigerian army.
Have you seen?
Hold on.
You are not in
Let's
Iran.
assume we say, oh, Nigerian army didn't authorize it. It was fired by junior officers. That makes sense to anybody.
That actually could become part of Gulf diplomacy. You could order your gateman not to allow a big man in, and you shout from upstairs, James, what are you doing to my visitor? It's all arranged, you know.
So that's the point we need to make.
You know, so these things are understandable, but again, Iran should not push its luck.
Let's return home, just the way Nigerians in South Africa are returning home. I think what's biggest in the news at the moment is the state police bill.
Oh, sure. Actually, a governor is already raising posts for police state police, you know. I'm putting the cart before the horse. He's raising something already. I'm not going to name the governor, but I'm very happy it's happening. You know, we said 2.5 years ago, state police is a matter of time. Leave them alone. We got to that stage where it became oversized for federal police, the Nigerian police force. Not because they don't have, they cannot on their own muster capacity, but because they cannot be funded to that level, equipped to that level, you know, populated in terms of membership of the force to that level. When that happens, you begin to delegate. It happens in a company when it becomes an octopus and the tentacles are no longer effective. you need to sever some and say, hey, you go independent, or this is how we now oversee your activities and all that. It's all to make the business a going concern. It shall never die. So that preservation tendency even happens in business, you know. That's it.
All right, talking about
and the
preservation.
Building
yeah.
Here.
No, they're lucky.
In Lagos.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, the issue here, I remember when I was in primary school, there was this sanitary officer, Obogolo. He practically came and inspected your soup pot in Iseluku. You dared not bring rotten plantain to a farm market in Iseluku. Obogolo would ask you, where are you taking it to? He was the enemy of almost every housewife that went to the market in Iseluku in those days, because Obogolo would not let you. The same thing should go for buildings. You carry out occasional checks and rechecks. The integrity of the structure is still assured compared to what happened when foundation was laid and this thing started going up. It's an ongoing thing. But so many things are compromised in our country. Now look at what has happened to
I heard one of the government officials saying that somebody even told him that when you are climbing up the stairs, you know, you could feel
it was creaking.
So if where were they?
Oh no. And people were still managing it, all in the name of poverty.
You see, another thing.
You have to rearrange Nigerian people's minds about poverty.
Honestly,
poverty of the mind is the worst.
I think that is it. Because if this building didn't collapse, you know, as at the time, you know, the staircase was showing signs and the officials came to say, oh, we're going to demolish this building, evacuate. People would stand against it.
Oh, but you can force them out.
They would even fight.
You can force them out.
No.
There are things,
you would always...
There is a thing as saving one against himself, against himself.
No,
himself, rather.
Government
you save them from themselves.
Government ultimately reserves coercive power, just in case you're not complying naturally. So that's it.
All right, Chokode, the director says it's time to go. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
And I hope the farms
it's
are
still
flourishing.
a bit cold. The cold.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I told you that's the only ailment I suffer. You know.
What's happening to the farms? Are the plants growing already?
The groundnuts are sprouting.
Fantastic.
They are.
All right. Enjoy. Let's take a break now. When we come back, we have our guest in the studio, and we'll be talking about Nupe Day. Stay with us.
Golden Terra Oil. Get Gold promo is here.
Buy the 5-liter pack, get 100 Terra Gold cubes.
Free! And with the 1-liter pack, get 20 Terra Gold cubes. Free!
Buy Golden Terra Oil. Get gold. Golden Terra Oil. Get Gold promo is here.
Buy the 5-liter pack, get 100 Terra Gold cubes.
Free! And with the 1-liter pack, get 20 Terra Gold cubes. Free!
Buy Golden Terra Oil. Get gold.
Once upon a time, there was a land plagued by blandness. Food had lost its flavor and there was nothing left to savor. Just then, the tastemaker arrives to restore taste to this land of blandness. All she did was sprinkle, stir, and serve. And from that day on, they knew one truth. All they need is sprinkle, stir, serve. Tastemaker.
TerraCube. Unwrap joy. Unleash taste.
The prestigious NTA Television College, widely recognized for its professionalism and excellence in media training, has achieved another significant milestone. In addition to its existing affiliation with Ahmadu Bello University Zaria for the award of a degree in mass communication, the college has now received official approval from the National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, to commence National Diploma, ND programs in mass communication and multimedia. Additional programs are also in progress. Admission requirements: a minimum of 5 O-level credit passes in relevant subjects. For National Diploma ND programs, minimum JAMB admissible score of 100. For degree programs, recommended JAM score of 180 and above. This is a great opportunity to become part of the college's growing legacy in media and broadcast education. For more information, visit our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or call these following numbers: 0803-838-4343, 0806-980-9897. Announcer Management.
Nigeria to greatness.
Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
All right, you're still watching Good Morning Nigeria live on the network service of the NTA. If you joined us quite early, you'll notice there's a difference. So that's to tell you the mood we're in the studio. But just before we introduce our guests and carry you along in the celebration, let's listen to Timothy Yusuf for the background report.
Nupe Day is an annual cultural festival celebrated on June 26th by the Nupe people across Nigeria and the diaspora. It commemorates the historic 1896 victory of the Nupe cavalry over invading British forces. Analysts noted that the event unifies the kingdom, promotes cultural revival, and celebrates Nupe heritage. Findings revealed the historical significance, stating that on June 26, 1896, the Nupe cavalry decisively defeated the British constabulary force at Ogidi in present-day Kogi State and seized the Union Jack, signifying a symbol of resistance. Many say it stands as a profound milestone in Nigerian history, marking one of the few instances where a native African cavalry directly halted the expansion of Imperial British troops before the British conquered Bida in 1897. Spearheaded by the Esu Nupe, stakeholders noted that the Nupe Day was established to prevent the extinction of Nupe history, the Nupe language and traditional values. The celebration brings Nupe sons and daughters together to foster unity, peace and mutual development. The event features traditional displays such as the Igunu masquerades and the Ndako Boya historical lectures, merit awards for agriculture and public service, and special prayers held in both mosques and churches. Historically, while major celebrations are often hosted in Bida, the Nupe Foundation coordinates low-key but widespread observances to reflect local economic and security realities while keeping the cultural memory alive. Would you like to know more about the specific historical background of the Nupe Kingdom, or perhaps details about other famous Nupe festivals like the Patigi Regatta? Then let's join our team of guests in the studio for more.
Right. Many thanks, Timothy Yusuf, for that background report. Now let's begin this conversation, but first, introduce our guests here in the studio. And I start with Yabagi Yusuf Sani, Jakada Ndupe. He was a former IPAC national chairman. We appreciate your coming on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, we have also been joined by Senator Ahmed Babazuruku Dammasanin Patigi. Welcome to Good Morning Nigeria.
Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Irene.
All right, thank you so much, Senator. Also here for the conversation is Honorable Fati Ladan Abubakar Gimbia Bedegi. It's a pleasure to have you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right, let's begin this conversation, and I'd like to start with Yabagi Sani. And Nupe Day celebrates history and culture. But beyond the festivities, what does this day truly represent for the Nupe people?
Well, it represents the essence of a Nupe person. Nupe person is a comportment of culture, tradition, and unity, and then also friendship. So this is a platform, that's Nupe Day, that is provided for us to reconnect with our roots, engage with ourselves, and promote the finest culture which Nupe represents to the whole world. And by so doing, we get to promote not only the history, but also the present and the future. Because when we come together like this on Nupe Day, those who have seen each other for quite some time reconnect and exchange, ideas, and it becomes a renewal of, acquaintances, relationships, and things like that. And in life, what is very important is relationship. That transcends any other thing that you can talk about, in human existence. So Nupe represents a very strong element in terms of the humanity itself. What do I mean? Nupe people, we used to say that Nupe is the origin. What do you mean by origin? Everything you find in other culture, you find its roots. You can trace it to Nupe. If you talk about farming, you talk about fishing, you talk about the industry, you find it in Nupe. No wonder UNESCO, in 2021, recognized Nupe as one of the UNESCO's, city of art and folk art, meaning that because Nupe land for centuries, it's endowed with industries like the blacksmiths, what we find in Bida, which is only found there, is brass. These brass works which we do, the melting of the bottles and things like that to make beads and things like that. So you find that the industry itself, which, like the Industrial Revolution, the world, it's the Industrial Revolution. So you find the roots of it in Nupe land, and this is why we pride ourselves that we are the origin. If you talk about the language itself, the language, Nupe language, it has its roots also in. It can be traced to the Middle East, traced to other parts of the world, and then because when you look at even the African continent, you find Nupes still, who are in some other countries. So and then even in Nigeria, there's no all these big tribes that we talk about. You still find their roots in Nupe. Like, you may not know, but the first Tortiv, in the TV land was a Nupe man. When you hear of Dabo, which is in Kano, was from Nupe land. That is from Age, from Age local government. And then you talk about the Yorubas, the Aramire and things like that. Talk about that is a life for you and all these things. It's from the Nupe. So Nupe is the origin, and this is why we always like to celebrate Nupes to the world, and show the world that culture is something that you can build, not only about talking about the future, but talking about the past, but also the future. And your culture really is your portrait. So you see that on Nupe Day, our people come out dancing, singing, and then celebrating ourselves in terms of achievement. So, and like I said, Bida City becomes the number one, the first city in Nigeria that was recognized by UNESCO. And it's not for anything, it's for these things that I've mentioned: the industry, the people themselves, and the place. Because you go to Nupe land, before this time, almost 60% of the rice that was locally produced was from Nupe land. And we are so rich in agriculture. We are rich in terms of, if you look at the issue of oil and gas, Nupe, there's Bida Basin. You talk about electricity. We have dams, that have their source of water, traced to Nupe land. So River Niger itself, that where you have the port that was used by the colonial masters to export, the commodities from Nigeria, was sited in Nupe land. That is the Barrow port, which we are talking about today. So Nupe land is really you can say, the beginning, really, of even industrialization that you are talking about. That's why I said industrial revolution. And today, you find Nupe people, look at administrations in the past. You look at right from the First Republic, you have Makama Bida, who was like number 2 to Sardauna, the premier of northern Nigeria at that time. And then even the Second Republic, when you have Alhaji Shehu Musa, who was secretary to the government, playing prominent role, and then you have, all up down to this time that we are talking, you have Nupe people pulling their own and then showing that, yes, they are made of, the stuff that at all times we excel, whatever assignment we are given. So I believe that Nupe culture is like the world culture, because we represent the platform, we represent the root, we represent the beginning, and this is why even this attire that you see us wearing is to demonstrate and they exhibit, what we represent, which is, like I talk about farming. If you look at green, that's why we put green there. We live in the riverine areas where you have, we're great farmers, and then you talk about the fishing. That's why we have blue. We have rivers all over the place. And then Nupe man is an industrious person, very, very agile. And then in history, that's why the opening remarks by Timothy Yusuf was talking about
who is also a Nupe man.
Who is also a Nupe man. I'm told now. It's the kind of gallantry that the Nupe forces showed in Ogidi, and that's in 1896, when we defeated the British cavalry, and that slowed down the advancement of the British. In fact, they came back because Germans were trying to come and occupy Nigeria at that point. So they had to rush back, but they were deterred by that defeat, which they never thought, could happen. So Nupe in history is something that is worth celebrating. And we know even today's contemporary history, Nupes are pulling their own in terms of giving their best, in any situation that we find ourselves.
All right, many thanks, Jakada Nupe. You've spoken glowingly about Nupe people. I'm not jealous. I'm not from Nupe, but great to know that all of this can be found in the Nupe culture and Nupe land. I'd like to get to the madam right here with us, because I want to hear the female angle to all of this. Honorable Fatih Ladan Abubakar, you are the Gimbian Bedegi. Okay, now I feel that Yabagi has spoken as a man. Being a woman from Nupe land, what does it feel like? And tell us about this whole celebration. Why is it important?
Good morning, viewers. Today is a special day because the local people, they look at us as special human beings created by God, and we are so unique in nature. The celebration of this day cannot be emphasized, because looking at what is happening before this day has been marked as a Nupe Day, looking at the history of the Nupes, I would want to concentrate on the women angle. For instance, the Nupe woman is somebody who we know is loyal, disciplined, and humble. And this is because we are Nupe. This is what we are trained to do. This is what we are brought up. This is what we've seen our parents doing. We have the likes of Hajira Gomba Sawaba, who is also a Nupe woman, who was a philanthropist. She's a social activist and an educationist. This woman stood out during the northern Nigeria and then has played her role, because she was the one that encouraged all other women to come out, because she fought and made sure even the women in Pudan, she brought them out.
All right. But I would like to put you on hold just because we have a little issue to deal with regarding your audio. So we'll get to the distinguished senator and return to you in due course. Now, beyond the festivities, beyond the celebration, what economic opportunities does the Nupe Day create?
Good morning, viewers. It's a very good question. You see, when you look at Nupe as a tribe and our location, starting from the origin itself, because I'll tell you in a bit for better understanding. Our origin started from Igala prince, whose father was Igala and the mother a Nupe woman.
Okay.
And if you look at Igala, from that location, right from the starting point, down to Lokoja Kogi State, all the way through Niger, and get it down to Kwara. It's all both sides, the river side of, it's both sides of River Niger. And predominantly, they are farmers. Their main occupation is farming. And in this case, farming, in broad terms, involve fishing and real agricultural farming producing economic crops. Okay. And I must tell you, when they start having problems, and that I will also add, the origin of Patigi Regatta, it was because on both sides of the River Niger, they were having problems, because who owns the boundary, who owns that part of fishing pond and all the rest of it. So the elders, from the culture of behavioral pattern of Edegi, which is Sode. So that is the symbolic, thing attached to the Igala prince, And honestly, by the First Republic, it was allowed that there has to be a solution in order to have the economic value originating from these people, Nupes, that will adversely affect the entire country. And if it is farming, we must find a solution to resolve the dispute. So by 1953, the first Patigi Regatta came to be. And it was purposefully designed to resolve the conflict between both sides of River Niger, that is the Nupes from Niger side and Nupes from Kogi and Kwara side.
Okay.
And honestly speaking, with that, it's not against saying the production of rice today that Nupes produce from both, from the three states, can feed the whole of Africa, not even West Africa.
That's from Niger, Kwara, and Kogi.
Exactly. And believe you me, with the lead that is being showcased now by the present Niger State Governor, former Governor Bago, you can see, because of the capacity the Nupes possess in producing rice, he has signed a memorandum of understanding to feed Lagos State, giving them over thousands of tons of rice, and also Oyo State.
Okay.
And the production of rice, if not because of the threat of the, insecurity, is so much that you can decide to export some of the rice we produce. So when you look at the economic value that comes from that, we only need backing from the state government and from federal government. Just of recent, the season, the crop season takeoff, which was officially, officially taken by, visited by the First Lady. You can see what exactly the advantage you can observe, where you have pyramids of fertilizer that the United States government procure for the farmers. And the governor from the beginning within its first 100 days, has procured for Niger State farmers over 3,000 tractors. And these are prime issues that will definitely encourage our farmers. And since the beginning of the administration of the present governor, it has been wonderful.
All right.
In addition to, the same thing with Kwara State governor, if not because of the problem of insecurity, farmers in Kwara, you cannot joke with them. You can stay by the riverside on the side of Nupiko, where you have the ferry services. Tons of rice, paddy rice, going out of Nupeland, of the other side of Kwara, to other parts of Nigeria, to feed the rice mills.
Okay, thank you, Senator. I mean, Nupeland is rich. That's like what you're trying to tell us. And, of course, they are great farmers and can feed the nation. Fantastic. Every year, we celebrate Nupe Day. And I have witnessed a conversation like this on like 2-3 occasions where we had you also as our guest to talk about Nupe Day. But I just noticed that I get to see the elders talk about Nupe. I'm wondering where the young people are. So Yabagaya, I'd like you to tell us, are young people being carried along, in terms of the cultural heritage of Nupe people? If not, what is being done, just so that the culture is not lost once the elders are out?
Well, very much so, because the future belongs to the youth, actually, the young ones. Even yesterday, there was a horse race, and it's only the young ones that really predominantly, dominate that prestigious game. So, there is a lot of activities that involve the young people, both female and male. We also have what we call there's a gala night, which we have, where people are given prizes, and young ones, they come out and then, demonstrate one thing or the other.
From what you're saying, from what the young people are exhibiting, it's not just about participating in all of these activities. From what they're exhibiting, from the effects of social media, do you think there's a likelihood that they will be able to pass on this culture, to their own children? Or you think that there's an adulteration with all of the artificial intelligence, social media, and all the different changes happening in the world at the moment?
Yeah, well, like can I say, humanity is battling with how to keep the integrity and sense of responsibility and direction as far as AI is concerned. But as we are in what you can call catch-22, in the sense that AI you can't do without it, and you do with it, it has a lot of negative, sides, that affects, like you said, young ones, because they tend to believe that what you see, those flashy things that you see, and the fast life that is demonstrated by AI is the reality, but it's not. But so in our own case, what we are doing is that we try to, as much as possible, expose, our young ones to such activities that will keep them connected with the roots, and the root is, like Ajay said here, to be humane, to be somebody who is who respects the elders, and then imbibe the essence of a Nupe man, which is humility and accommodation. So this is why even as today we have cases of young ones that you have the exuberance of the young ones, but by and large, it's been controlled, within the confines of, having the both of the two worlds, meaning that the modern, world and the root, which is where we are coming from, because so the young ones are being integrated into the whole activities. They have their own chapter of organizations too, where they meet as young ones. And then I know that things like we have deliberately introduced about 5 programs into the Nupe celebration of Nupe Day and things like that. The 5 programs, you have what we call Nupe cultural anthem. It is to ensure that we do not lose where we're coming from, and you address, or you talk to their consciousness to bring and then back to Nupe land whatever you have. That's what the cultural like our traditional anthem, Nigerian anthem and things like that. So we have Nupe cultural anthem, and we also have identity. We try to forge the identity by way of this kind of attire. So anywhere you see a Nupe man, in most cases, especially in celebrations and things like that, like today, there's no marriage that takes place in Nupe land or outside Nupe land, which involves Nupe people, without Nupe Day being celebrated. And when Nupe Day is celebrated, it means that you are bringing to their consciousness from that age, when they are coming together as husband and wife, that you are a Nupe person, and there are things that make you different from others. So that's every marriage that takes place today. And also you find that even in the universities, they celebrate Nupe Day. So that's how we are able to capture the young ones to begin to imbibe that Nupe essence, that I'm a Nupe person and I'm proud. So there are so many things that we have introduced, as symbols of unity, and how to ensure that we don't lose, ourselves to this fast,
All right, thank you. Talking about culture, Abuja comes to mind. Women have always played significant roles in the preservation of culture. And I'm wondering, would you say that, the women have been recognized enough for these contributions to preservation of the Nupe culture?
Of course, we have.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, of course, the Nupes have, especially in terms of this culture you're talking about. You can look at my attire. These things are being made from the Nupe culture. These are acts, and we do these things by ourselves. And everywhere you go, like you just talk about this Nupe Day, once we're doing wedding ceremonies in schools, anywhere, you cannot see a Nupe woman or a Nupe young people that are going on any outing without this muffler. It's always on their neck. These things are being produced by us, and it's being reserved. And this thing, they do export it. It's being exported. It's even out of the country. These are all produce from Nupes. We don't go to anywhere to buy them. We do them by ourselves. And our culture is such that it's so unique that anywhere you go, it's only the Nupe woman that you can see greeting elders, bowing down with 2 of our nails. For instance, if I come to visit you here, in my tradition, I'm expected to go out, remove my shoes, and then I greet you before entering. This is part of our culture. This is part of our heritage. And these things, I will make sure that it's being carried on even to the younger ones that are coming up. There's no way you can see a Nupe man or woman that is not standing out as far as respect, discipline, humility is concerned. This you cannot take away from us. It's in school, it's in everywhere. And then talking about leaving this for the younger ones, whatever we're doing, we're bringing them up. They're always in all the activities we're doing. They're fully being carried along and they're participating.
As active participants or spectators, how do you ensure that they are more than spectators on Nupe Day?
On Nupe Day, most of the people will see, like now we are
because
elderly.
All of you are, you are the advanced.
They're there. Even most of the activities, most of the committees, you won't see these elders appearing in these committees anymore. So you don't see them.
Okay.
They are taking the back seat.
Now,
it's only these younger ones that we're grooming now so that they can take over as soon as.
All right. I want to ask you this question, and I'd like you to be open, irrespective of the fact that we have the men here. We have so many cultures in Nigeria that, have certain things that do not really favor women. There's some cultures where women cannot inherit, for example. There are some where, a woman is at the background, you shouldn't be seen or heard. Is that something, about the Nupe culture that you would, if you had the opportunity to change, you want to change, just so that women can be given a better chance?
Honestly, and then I can tell you this for free, in the Nupe land, we don't have most of these things. Where you have these things is in the northern state, but in Nupe land, I can tell you for free, like I'm a politician. If I'm not allowed, I won't be here. I'm here because I'm a politician. The only thing that is bothering us in the Nupe culture now, and as far as we're concerned, the traditional rulers, that is the emirs, they are on top of the situation. Is this selling of you see little girls to go hawking? I think that is part of the major problems we're doing now, that we're having now. And then the emirs have been trying to suppress this and to tell the parents that no, education is key. You must allow your child to go to school. Then after school, because you cannot just start at one and say, no, don't sell, don't do, no. So we're taking it up with them. We're being diplomatic in the way we're taking it up with them. That's the only part of the only major challenge we have. But to say we have stayed behind, you won't be heard, you won't be seen, honestly, we don't have it in the Nupe culture. We don't have this. The religion, we know that the coming of the religion has, hindered a lot of things, that women must not be heard, they must not be seen, put down. But in the Nupe culture, we don't have this. Our men are very friendly, and then our men are so considerate. It's only in the Nupe culture that you see a man is a former governor, and you see the wife as a senator. If we have this, I don't think such things will be allowed to happen. And then because the younger ones are seeing, I'm sure as they are coming up, they emulate. But the only challenge is this hawking. And we're trying as much as we can to see that parents douse it down, because we said education is key. You must allow your child to go to school.
All right, thank you. Senator, let's get to you now as we continue this conversation. By the way, we'd like our viewers to know they can be part of the conversation. There's a number on the screen. Send in your comments, questions. If you're a Nupe man or woman, we want to hear your thoughts, as we celebrate Nupe Day. Please restrict your questions or comments to the topic of discussion today. Thank you very much. So we want to read from you. Senator, you spoke earlier, you talked about agriculture, how it is flourishing in Nupe land. I would like you to speak about what the developmental priorities are for Nupe communities, especially because you're a politician. I mean, every other person here is also a politician. So how do you intend to develop your communities and, of course, impact your people better?
Well, like I said earlier, agriculture is prime, and it's our main occupation. We don't joke with it, and our governments are taking it very, very seriously and addressing it squarely. So therefore, for every part that we need to deal with agricultural-wise, we take it very seriously. And there is no community in Nupe land that is not taking agriculture as prime. We do other things, we do other tradings and other occupations, but agriculture is first. And believe you me, like I heard you talking about youth development. During the time I was championing the chairmanship of Nupe Day, I particularly introduced agricultural show, and the majority of the participants are younger ones. And this to showcase the importance of bringing in youth and the level of their participation to be so much recognized in order to make an improvement and impact on the society. It was a huge success. Because if you encourage the youth in terms of taking agriculture as a very serious occupation, definitely the whole country will benefit. They have the youth exuberancy, the interest, if given to them, they will take advantage. You have the commercial sector, like the banks, they can afford to give them loan, and definitely they will take it as serious occupation and be very serious about it. And I think so far, honestly, the way and manner the youth are taking agriculture is a very serious one. So we really wouldn't take them, as a group that is not very serious. They only need further encouragement. And this I will also urge federal government to do the best through Ministry of Agriculture, because most of the problems the youth are having is capital to develop the agricultural sector. You know, the equipments are expensive, and once this can be taken care of, I'm sure they will improve and the success will be very great.
All right, thank you very much. Let me get to Alhaji Yabagi Sani again. Now, I mean, it's a good thing, like the Jaws would say they are in Delta, they are in Bayelsa, you know, you also are spread across 3 states. But do you consider this a strength or weakness? Of course, when you talk about all the issues, politics and all whatnot.
No, it's, of course, it's strength in diversity. That's what we look at it, you know, because, like you rightly said, we're in Kwara, Kogi, Niger, FCT. We are also in FCT. And in fact, as, you know, you can even Nasarawa. And then, so the issue is that we tap from the advantages that we can get from these localities. And that is why we have the Nupe Day. Nupe Day is the platform upon which all of us now come together. You know, that's when somebody from Kwara, somebody from Kogi, somebody from Niger, and Nupe man from diaspora also. So we
what
come
about
together.
cohesion?
No, the cohesion.
When you have to.
No, the cohesion becomes very, very necessary because, you know, human nature, you tend to gravitate to somebody who has something in common with you, and then language is very strong, you know, in terms of, you know, drawing people together. So the fact that we speak the same language is an advantage, and then that sort of brings, you know, and then enhance the bond that we're building. And that's why we have introduced, you know, the new symbols that will facilitate this coming together. You know, like these clothes we wear, like Nupe cultural anthem, and like the Nupe Day itself. It's a new symbol that we introduce so that we'll find time to come together, exchange ideas, you know, see how we can help each other and help the country. You know, so you find that we are blessed. You know, and blessed in what sense? If you look at where we are located, like I was telling you, we are rich in solid minerals. We are rich in oil and gas because places like Kogi, like Niger, and even FCT here, you know, they have these resources in abundance. So, and then the people must have sense of direction, and the only way you can have sense of direction to work together in promoting yourself and your country is when you create an opportunity where you meet, you know, and then celebrate. And we do have lectures, you know, and so that we talk to ourselves, to each other on what is important, what should we promote, you know. So the Nupe is, you know, a very important element in terms of if you put together everything that is, you know, very unique about Nigeria. You know, you find that we being Nupes, we have those things that people must. And then, for instance, look at it. We are in fact the bridge that, you know, connects the north and the south, because any angle you come, you have to pass through the Nupe land. If you are coming from the east, you are coming from the west, you are coming from the north, Nupe land is at the center. And that's why we are the bridge that that, you know, connects this country together. And that's why you find most Nupes speaking Yoruba, most Nupes speaking Hausa, most Nupes even speaking Igbo, you know, Lokoja and what have you. You know, it's Nupe predominantly. So Nupe is a very strong element in terms of unity of this country and portraying to the whole world, you know, what is the finest about the people of this country. And unity is at the center of it, like you know yourself. And we exhibit unity by our culture, by our geography, by our conduct, you know, when we are given opportunity to shoulder any responsibility, you know, we exhibit all these things. And this is why a Nupe man, a Nupe woman is a proud person. Not in the negative sense, a proud person because of the gift, because it's the gift from nature. You know, we didn't plan to be at the center, that if the Yoruba man wants to go to the north, this one to come to there, they must pass through us, that we intermarried, I mean, you find that even the Yoruba culture, like I was telling you, this Egungun, all this, what they speak is Nupe. They don't speak Yoruba, those masquerades and what have you. They don't speak Yoruba, they speak Nupe language. And then, so which means, it's a very strong, element in their culture. And then you find, like I said, even Nupes have given so much, really, to this country. I can remember there are places where Nupes have become governors, like even Kano. We used to have the late Sabo Bakinzo. Was a Nupe man, and he was the governor of Kano State. And then we have Nupes in other places that you can really give it to us.
So maybe Victor should retrace his roots. He may just be a Nupe man.
Yes, Nupe is the origin, actually. If you trace it long enough.
Except you become by hanging this around my neck.
You mentioned something about language. I'm asking, what are you doing to preserve the language? Because so that's one thing that is going into extinction.
So much has been done. So much has been done. I think now, if I'm, there's a school, for teaching Nupe. They have in the one of the universities, I think, IBB or something like that. Yes. So it's one of the curriculum now that you must learn. And we're getting a lot of support from even outside, the country. You like I talk about UNESCO. Bida is the first city in Nigeria that was recognized as a city of arts and culture, and industry, believe you me. So, which means there's a lot.
What year was that?
In 2021.
Before Benin City?
Before Benin, 2021. We are the first city.
Okay.
Yeah. If you check, Google, and you'll find it like that. Bida is the first city because we possess those things that they are looking for. They couldn't find it in any other place than Bida, So, which is the center of the culture of Nupe people. So this is why I say that the Nupe woman or man is a proud individual, not in a negative, connotation, but in the sense that the man in a not the result.
All right. Thank you. Now, Haji, I'm back to you. We've talked a lot about culture, we've talked a lot about unity and all of that, but what role or roles can Nupe women play in peace building and community development?
Oh, yes. We've been playing a lot of roles in peace building and community development. I can mention some of our women that we've also been emulating because we see them, Nupes, because of our symbol of unity. Anywhere we are peacemakers, we are bridge builders. For instance, if you hear all the crises that are happening in Nupe land, you won't hear most of this thing. It's because of that unity. And then that community, like in the Nupe land, you always find, it's only in Nupe land that weekends is being dedicated for communities to come together, especially women. We have these meetings that we're doing. We make sure that we're able to bring women from various places, both the elites and those that are downtrodden, that are not even educated, will come together. There are a kind of contributory post that we make, because we do this so that we can be able to help the less privileged. And once you're doing this, once you engage the Nupe woman, you finally find even crisis in the family. Because when you leave somebody and the person is not engaged, for instance, they say another man is a devil man's workshop. So we make sure that these women are engaged. That, for instance, people from Abuja, every weekend or twice in a month, we make sure that people come back home just to connect with those that
roots.
Yes, just to connect with our roots. And that's why even during politics, you find most of these women waiting for those from the rural area, from the urban area to come back, because we're always connecting, we're always talking together, we're always feeling each other's pulse. And we make sure that our children are growing up with this unity, and there is peace in the family, there is peace everywhere. It's only in Nupe land that you can find that. In the past, we used to have community crises, and these are due to land boundaries and whatever, but now we have been able to suppress it. It is because of this synergy of unity we have formed across, not only in the urban area, but even back home, because that is where the problems are. You find people, they are not doing anything, you know, they don't have work to do, but now most of them are engaged. Our women go to farm. When you see a woman farming, you think it's a man. They farm so much, especially this rice milling. They're so much engaged in that. They're doing this biscuit, or this African biscuit, that is what we call kuli kuli in our local language. It is the women that do it. It is only when you have peace that you can be able to foster unity and also growth among the people.
But in all of this, where is the place of language? Of course, these days, most young people are comfortable speaking English. How do you intend to ensure that they stick with the local language, or at least it doesn't die? English isn't a bad thing because it's our lingua, but how do you ensure that they sustain the use of your language? Yeah,
that's why we're encouraging the teaching of Nupe language. And for instance, we have Professor Manarakis. He's also a professor in the Nupe language, and most of the young, we're catching them young. Most of the young ones that are coming up, we make sure that we are interfacing with their parents, make sure that when they go to this school, it's a private lesson he has organized, and then we'll be getting results. And then, for instance, in some families, even in my family where I came from, my father, when we were growing up, I remember that he has a Hausa wife, but you must not speak Hausa in that family. Everybody speaks Nupe, and that's what most of the people are doing now. I was surprised when I visited London. There is a family, they've been in London for the past 35 years, but in that family, they're speaking Nupe wonderfully. They don't speak any other language except when they go to school, but in the house, they speak Nupe language. I think this is also a way that so that younger ones can emulate, because no society, there won't be any development in any society when you throw your history away. You cannot throw your history or your root into the trash bin. No. So we are doing as much as we can to make sure that even the younger ones that are coming up in the house, the only form of communication is Nupe language. And you see them speaking Nupe wonderfully.
All right.
What I have said. Apart from monarchies, there is Ambassador Solomon Issa,
yes,
who has written, he has a dictionary of Nupe, dictionary of Nupe, which you can find also online and what have you. So a lot has been done to promote and ensure that we preserve the language.
Let's focus on the day now, as we're heading towards a break on the program. Senator, I'd like to get to you. Speak to us about some of the activities, if you like, cultural activities that will be taking place as to celebrate Nupe Day. And I understand there's a masquerade called Igunu. What is that about? Senator, you want to respond? Yes.
That's what the Yorubas call it.
Okay.
But we call it Kuti, but there are two versions.
Okay.
We have Boya, which is long masquerade, and we have the short one, which is Kutiagi. Kutiagi, which has its origin from the Yoruba.
Almost sounds like Kutigi.
Yes, which is a town anyway. And you see, these two masquerades are so symbolic, because like what it used to be in the past, they can showcase so many things that can be so much, compared to whether it's spiritual or otherwise. Because during the time I was championing the chairmanship of the Nupe Day, there was a particular occasion where it's a human being inside the masquerade, the long one, but it went straight to the pavilion where the traditional rulers were. And he was just going down until such a time that you can lift the entire cloth and you find nobody inside.
How did that happen?
Ask me again. That's Nupe for you.
Magic.
You can't just throw us away. But religion, Islam and Christianity, has made things to let us forget about all that. And, there are so many other things that come to play during the celebration. And because we don't want our root to disappear. And we want our youth to have the opportunity to see where we are coming from, so that they would learn fast and come up with new ideas and develop new version of things that can be modern. Because believe you me, the youth in Nupe land are very, 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 challenging. They are very challenging in the sense that, like my own family, little thing that I do that is typical Nupe, my children will ask me, Alaji, why this? Where did you get that from? And I used to give them reasons. I give you an example. In my grandfather's palace, because my grandfather was a king, you cannot call anybody that is even 1 day older than you by his name. All my uncles, I must call them uncle so.
But uncle is English.
Mma, that is a Dunupe word. Mma Ghana, Mma Osman, Mma Victor, Mma Kolo. But for the king to hear you calling Victor, when Victor is as old as whatever you can think, you are in trouble. And so it goes when we are sharing things in the palace. Because every day there has to be something to share.
So I am Umma Victor to you.
I'm Umma Victor.
And the area will be Nagi to you. You dare not Nagi. That's auntie. Auntie.
No, she can't be.
Yeah, well, that's Nupe culture for you. And it's a sign of respect that is highly respected. Today, you can watch Farmer Governor Bago. No matter where he is, if he sees elders, traditional rulers in particular, he will kneel down. That does not remove him out of being the father of the state. Sincerely speaking, it's symbolic. And I can tell you for nothing, if you lose that sense of respect, that the Nupe thing in you is gone. You don't find that in some parts of the north. You find some families in the north calling their fathers by their names. Their mothers by their names. That can never happen. That can never happen. In the palace, for example, which I gave you, my uncles that I'm 20 or 15 years older will pick whatever we are sharing before me. And they dare not shout on them. It's not possible. And that commands respect. Is an uncle, and that uncle respect must be given. You can do anything to him outside, but if he reports you back to the palace, you're in trouble. So the aspect of this celebration we are holding annually, believe you me, is so important.
All right, Umar Zuruku, I hope I'm right.
Yes.
To say that now. Umar Zuruk. Okay.
Umma.
It's NMA.
Okay, fantastic. Zuku. You just spoke about respect, and you talked about some other aspects of the culture which are very commendable, and it's good that you have continued to show all of this. But speak to us about certain aspects of the culture that you think that civilization has touched a bit. I asked Negi Fati earlier that you think that it's a step in the right direction if you alter it a bit. Is there anything like that you want to share?
Yes, I'll give you one that can be meaningful when it comes to marriages. In Nupe land, before, a woman that is married to her husband legally has no right to come home to complain against her husband.
Regardless.
The husband is always right. And in that direction, the husband is also commanded to be very honorably disciplined, to give her right choice of respect. Fairness. Why? Because we believe, with absolute respect to the husband, paradise is her place for finality. So, and that gives them the art of being disciplined. They must respect their husband, They must not be very rude to them. They must be considerate. They must be updoing in bringing up the children. Gradually, that is dying now. We are listening to women now because some men are taking advantage of that. Before, you hardly, no matter how good you are, be rude to your husband. If he dares get to your parents to say, look, my wife is misbehaving, she's in trouble. And honestly, I'm sure you know, we are very, very tolerant. We take divorce a very serious issue. Before a Nupe man divorces his wife, there has to be a lot.
I would like to know that a lot, but that will be after the break, because we are going on break now to take some messages. Good Morning Nigeria returns after it. Please don't go away.
A wise man once said, "The abundance of money can never guarantee contentment," which I think is just another complicated way of saying money can't buy happiness.
Adebayo Adeleke hits big in the tech industry.
Adebayo Adeleke and his family holiday in Hawaii.
Arrest. The dictionary defines crisis as a time of
History isn't just written in books. It's painted on the grass. Every generation brings its own stroke of genius. The legends paved the way, but a new class of icons have arrived. Ready to leave their mark. Ready to make a statement. Expect the unexpected. Breathtaking goals that defy gravity. Drama that stops time. This is where the world comes to play. 3 host nations, 48 countries, countless colors, but only one ultimate dream. The 2026 FIFA World Cup. Witness history unfold live right here on Sporty TV and NTA.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, SAC 0209-462-1168, 0916-772-3240. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Every friendship has a little competition in it. But inside this house, competition becomes war.
She could be a very tough match for me, but all the same.
I cook, all those old women kind of cooking.
Suddenly, the heat, the pressure, the chaos.
I was going to ask, where is that from? She almost set the house on fire.
Time raises. Emotions boil louder than the
Time
voice.
up! Can't help it. Stop everything you're doing and plate your meal.
Guest, get ready to taste and enjoy the opportunity to go home with 500,000 naira. This isn't just cooking, this is survival.
I'm confident.
I'm very sure. Stir fry? Stir fry?
Only 2 will make it to the final showdown. Only 1 gets the title. The winner of the Battle of Ports. Coming soon. Brought to you by Mr. Chef.
All right, many thanks for staying with us. We are now in the final lap of Good Morning Nigeria, where we are discussing the Nupe Day 2026. Just before we went on break, of course, I was asking the distinguished senator about their divorce process, but I'll just take some messages that have come in from our viewers, and then he can tee off again from there. Now, this one has no name, says, hi, this is a welcome anniversary. Wishes us more of celebration. It's a reminder of our history. Thank you. And from Usman Maruf Kolapo, Nupe Day should involve other Nupe's origins now entrenched in Yoruba land. Nupe descendants are everywhere in Yoruba states, including Lagos. Okay, good to know. And from Salisu Tale Kanu, good morning, Nigeria. Indeed, Nupe is one of the ancient ethnic groups in Nigeria with history dated back to centuries. Nupe are peaceful people that you hardly hear of religious or ethnic crisis in Nupe land and its surroundings. Wish you happy celebrations. In Kanu, we have a quarter called Tudun Nupawa. That's Nupe ancient settlement living in Kanu for years. I hope I got the pronunciation. Now, Ofakwara. Good morning from Ofakwara, Engineer Lawal MK. Good morning, Nigeria. In Kwara State, Shaba Lafiagi became governor. He is also a Nupe man. Nupe are very rich in culture. And finally, from me, from Yapa Atatu Kekura Awe, local government council, Nasarawa State, do Nupe people belong to Kwarafa ethnic nationality? The conversation we started, we have to end it for the viewers' sake.
Okay, I was thinking you were planning to take another one.
You see, Victor, I must tell you, divorce, even from the religious angle or point of view, is a very serious case. Almighty God does not disallow divorce, but he hates it most. And we derive our understanding from that meaning. It's both there in the Quran and it's detested also in the Bible. It's something that we should not take for a joke. Before you divorce a woman, there are certain things that must be broken first. I don't have to mention those things. But you know once any of the three is broken, you have to think twice. When you think the two are broken out of the three, or the three, then the family must call both of them and listen to both sides. This time around, we don't agree with the idea that a woman must not be given the chance to talk or to complain. We call both of them. And we must give a fair hearing. Because if you don't, there are things that you have to take note of. If they have children, and if if by any chance a divorce is pronounced, the two families are really hurt. There's no way I will divorce your daughter and you feel happy about it, irrespective of whatever. So also from my own side, the entire family from both sides will be affected. So we take divorce a very serious issue, and the process of divorce must be known to every part, to both sides, to be fair. When you give them fair hearing before the end of the, reconciliation, you will know who is right, who is wrong. But believe you me, we are very, very tolerant. Parents don't like divorce at all, and we signal this to our daughters and to our sons.
So, do the Nupe people belong to the Kwarafa ethnic nationality?
Yes.
Because somebody asked that.
Yeah, we do. We belong. That's why I said Nupe is the origin. If you trace it long enough, you find that you are a Nupe man yourself. So this is why it's the history that is very rich. And not only Kwarafa, you've heard of somebody saying in Lagos, there are so many families, settlements in Lagos, in most part of the Yoruba land, and other parts of Nigeria, where you find Nupes, cohabitating, happily with other people.
All right, let's read some more comments that we have from our viewers. This one says, what I like about Nupe people is their method and style of greeting. And that's coming from Adeyi Ocheche in Abuja. Another one says, I'm Reverend Law Alpha Cross from Aba, Nigeria. Good morning, Nigeria. Congratulations to Nupe people for attaining this milestone, showcasing their history, healthy culture, and tradition. and exposing their achievements in different areas of human activity. And I ask, are Nupe people affected in any way by the unfortunate insecurity ravaging different parts of Nigeria? That's a very good question coming from a non-Nupe man. Yes. He's from Abuja, Nigeria. Thank you so much. I'm sure you'd respond. You want to respond right away?
Yes. We are affected, but it's not as rampant as we find in other places. But we are affected, believe you me. If you take
so what are you doing? What are you doing to deal with the situation?
Well, we are taking it in strides in the sense that we are looking up to the government because they are responsible for our security and also welfare as far as the constitution of this country is concerned. So we have to look up to them. We've given them the mandate, we've given them our resources. So they have to apply it, to secure us and then make us live a good life.
When you talk about resources, do you have solid minerals around?
We do. Solid minerals, yes. We are rich, very rich in solid minerals. You talk of gold. Of course, Nigeria is one of the places that is very rich in gold. And then, like I say, oil and gas too. Then Bida Basin is one of the 8 basins we have in Nigeria. So, petroleum basins I'm talking about now. And then he has talked about agriculture, how huge the potential is, and then the other resources that you can talk about. Believe me, we have them in abundance.
Okay, thank you. So let me just read some more comments. This one says, kudos to you guys over there for always promoting Nupe culture all the time. I'm Alhaji Yaya Asiri from Shunga in Kwara State. Shonga. Okay. Thank you. Another one says, thank you, the presenters of the program. Nupe people are known to be so respectful, religious, and united, the way Honorable Fatih said it. This one says, good morning. My name is Victoria Naka. I live in Mina, Niger State. Happy Nupe Day. I can attest to the fact that Nupes are accommodating people, either Christian or Muslim. They have this same approach of accommodating people around them. Kudos to them. Thank you very much, Victoria. Another one says, this is beautiful. Our cultural diversity should be treated as our beauty and strength and needs to be cherished, not deemed as a problem or weakness. Every heritage has a story. Every culture is unique in its own way, and as such, should be respected. Let's protect where we come from and still open our hearts to what others hold dear. Culture isn't a contest. It is a connection. God bless Nigeria. Nandam Wuyeb from Jos sends that. So deep. Thank you so much, Nandam, a regular contributor on Good Morning Nigeria. We appreciate you. So I'd like to get to Honorable Fatih now. Maybe you want to just speak some more about some of the comments that have been made so far about Nupe people. And maybe you want to tell us something that is, for you, the greatest, should I say use the word the greatest, or something that you're so excited about, when it comes to Nupe people that makes you really proud?
Yeah, and I want to quickly add something. You sought to know something in the past, and I want to just add something that's key. I wanted to add to what Senator said. He was talking about divorce. There was something I didn't want to share, but I said, let me just share it.
Please do.
Yeah. You see, in the past, these are things that part of civilization has taken away. In the past, when a young lady gets married, her first night with her husband is being taken to her house. There is a white cloth that they normally use to make sure either she's a virgin or she's not a virgin.
I think that happened in many cultures.
Yes.
Including mine.
I'm talking about my own culture. Now, I don't know if it happened. So it's
He's from Nupe? He just needs to trace it properly. He just needs to.
So they normally take it back to the house, to our family home, and she's being celebrated, congratulated, and so many things because she has.
Does that still happen?
Yeah. No.
Oh, why?
Civilization has taken all this away, and also in the tradition has taken it away. And in the past too, when a man is dating a woman, you must not even see the man. The parents will just make pronouncement, and they will just come and say, oh, this is your husband, and their marriage is being conducted. That was in the past. But with civilization now, all those things have been doused down. They've been taken away.
But you see, that culture of using the white cloth, don't you think that we should find a way to bring it back? Don't you think, in your own view as a woman, what do you think?
No, I don't think so, because civilization has taken
so we
a lot of
promote
things away, and then in that during that time too, most of these sons and daughters are not educated to the university level that we're having now, and as such, exposure is not much then. So you can afford to have all this, because as long as once the child is growing up, at a very tender age, she's being given out. Her hand is being given out in marriage.
And that doesn't make a good wife otherwise, anyway.
So are you saying that being chaste before marriage is not something we should promote?
Sorry, I beg your pardon?
I mean, that culture of, the white cloth is to ensure that, you were actually a virgin before marriage, right? So are you saying we shouldn't promote that, irrespective of the fact that we have to go to school, we have to be exposed and all of that?
I think Alicia Bagi should answer this.
well, I think we should. We should, because there's no stage in life where you do not want to have integrity, to have respect, and honor. Those are things that every human being wants to have. So, and it's up to the parent. But like she says, the challenge now is at what age do we marry our daughters? When they leave you to university, they're in a different world that you have this law no control over. So, and they themselves, believe in some cases, they cannot be able to withstand the kind of pressure that they come under in the universities.
I asked that question deliberately because even as then, when it was still in practice, it was to check the women. What can we use to also check the men?
What we can use to check the men?
Yes.
That what? That the men,
yes, that
the men are also
virgins. Yes.
Too?
Yes.
Men are not metered.
Men are not metered.
No, men, to check the men.
But I think that this is just...
You check the women, you don't check the men. You don't check the men.
Allow me to
That's
integrity is good.
Yes.
But that's just an aspect of integrity.
Okay.
Which does not, at the end of the day, confirm whether a woman was going to have integrity in every other aspect of being a woman
wife
of the house and being a wife. You could pass that test and yet not be able to keep a home.
How do we test
I believe
the
that
men?
all of those become things of the past because it really doesn't count a lot.
She's asking a vital question. How do we test the men?
Well, I'm not a Lupe man. Perhaps you should tell
That's your history.
The men, right from the time immemorial, men are checked by the conduct of the woman, because man is the way God created man, like is with a bundle of energies and things like that. Wants to, this is the truth. But the women are the ones that will culture and bring the men to, their responsibility. That's not to say that the man should be.
Disagree?
No.
Fair in
To
this
the women.
case.
Exactly.
We are not being fair to the women.
To women,
Yes.
true.
Yes.
Men, with all sincerity, no matter what discipline he has, you can't check his excesses. No matter his background.
Even before and after.
But the woman has virginity. Is the one put into question.
Yeah.
And in the Arab world, you hardly can get a woman who is designed to marry. She must remain a virgin.
Yes. Because of the family.
In Nupe land before, if you are not a virgin, there's no marriage at all.
Yeah.
It's that serious.
Yeah.
But the question is also, the fact that you lose your virginity necessarily doesn't mean you've been slept with.
True.
You can lose your virginity without necessarily going through intercourse. So how do you measure that? So with civilization, we call it civilization, but the truth remains, what is right is right. Honor is given.
Right.
Yes. Honestly.
All right, great. I like the conversation and I like the stance of NAM Senator Umma. I have to get it right. I'm not a Nupe person, just
say Umma
that's why
Zurek.
Umma Zurek.
Yes.
Okay, as we begin to round up this conversation, I'd like to hear from you, Umma Yabagi. What do you see happening to the Nupe culture in the next 5-10 years? What's your vision for Nupe land?
Well, my vision is that Nupe culture will become the engine room, for development, unity, and industry in the person himself, because that is what we have brought out as the pillars, for this Nupe Day celebration and Nupe Foundation. We have an organization called Nupe Foundation. So why I'm saying this is that if you look at what our emirs are doing, most of them, they have programs that address some of these issues I'm talking about education, health, infrastructure development, and even good governance, in the land. And then collectively, we now bring out what we call award nights. Award nights is to give honor to those that have excelled in their individual endeavors. So that is to awaken the consciousness of the young ones that if you perform, the society will recognize you and give you respect. So I can see as we go along, as we go on to the future, you will find more Nupe people become more industrious, more aggressive in terms of achievements, and then more of a team player, because that's what it's all about. So Nupe in the next 5 years, believe you me, it will be something of pride that other cultures would like to emulate. And as we speak, believe you me, when we started the Nupe Day, people, other tribes around us started also. The moment when we started the Nupe Day in 2008, So other tribes, other cultures, started their own day too, In fact, even the Hausa land, they started the Hausa Day or something like that. It was because of what they saw in the Nupe Day, how it has galvanized, the Nupe people in terms of development, in terms of unity, in terms of pride, as somebody that is being celebrated.
All right, great. Negi Fatima, I'd like you to also share your thoughts of the future for Nupe land.
Well, I see Nupe as the symbol of unity, and then bringing everybody together to bring a lot of developments, not only in the Nupe land, but all over the country. Like the Nupeans have been known for, we have played a reasonable mark in the space of this country. And the Nupe man, or the Nupe woman, both of them will continue to do that. And part of the things that we're always proud is that anywhere the Nupe man or Nupe woman finds herself, we are being seen as a symbol of unity, a rallying point. There's always this ladder that once a Nupe person is in a place, that ladder is always there for not only the Nupes to climb and come to wherever he is. He's everybody. He's bringing everybody, because there's no this language barrier, religion. We're always together trying to.
Thank you. Thank you. And of course, we just have about a minute to go. And I'm wondering if a young Nigerian watching this program this morning knows very little about the Nupe people. What one lesson would you want that, this crop of Nigerians to remember about the Nupe people from his history, from his culture, long after this year's celebration?
We are peace-loving people. Peace-loving people. We don't like crisis. And that's why from time, you hardly can see or hear about any crisis in Nupe land. Any sense of crisis coming, our traditional rulers, who are our fathers, they kill it immediately. And believe you me, it would have been better and more wonderful if the Nupes have their own state. Forget about whether it's going to be economic or not. The rest that have been created of what economic additional value.
The problem is, how do you tear them out from different states?
Exactly. The Nupes by now should have their own state, and you see one that they will perform.
And they're willing.
All right. Yes. Thank you. I think that's a fine place to leave the conversation. We need to go. Thank you. Long live Nupe land and Nupe people. Many thanks for joining us. Yabagi Yusuf Sani, Jakada Nupe. former IPAC National Chairman, was indeed a pleasure. Have a beautiful celebration.
Thank you, Nigerian.
All right. Also, Senator Ahmed Baba Zuruk, Damasanin Patigi. Damasanin Patigi. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Nigerian.
Thank
and
you.
I hope very soon we invite you to be given a traditional title.
I will be so glad. Thank you. All right. So now you know I'm going to be a title holder in Nupe land. So. All right. Thank you very much, Nengi, Honorable Fati Ladan Abubakar Gimbian Bedegi. Thank you so much for being our guest. Enjoy the celebration. We wish you the very best. And of course,
and my Victor Po.
The unmetered,
I will trace your history. I'll be in the screening panel that will determine your title, because you have to learn to pronounce the umma and the magi. Until you do that, no title for you.
You will also trace your history.
Did you hear that? Oh my God, jealousy will take you nowhere, Victor. That's Good Morning Nigeria this Friday. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ian Ray John. Live locked on the NTA. We have great programs for you. This is the unmetered Victor, my colleague.
Okay, she's introduced me.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Million people, united by diversity, resilience and hope. For many citizens, the Nigerian dream represents more than survival. It is the belief that every Nigerian deserves dignity, opportunity, peace and a chance to build a better future. What does the Nigerian dream truly mean? The Nigerian dream is built on the idea of a nation where hard work is rewarded, justice is upheld, and governance reflects transparency and accountability. A country where young people can pursue their ambition without fear, where citizens can confidently aspire to a brighter tomorrow. How can a shared national vision help shape the Nigeria we all desire?
A nation is not built in a day. And what that means is that it takes consistent sacrifice over the years for us to begin to see the fruit of the labor that we have right now.
At the center of this shared vision are values that strengthen discipline, unity, responsibility, and patriotism. National progress becomes possible when citizens begin to instead focus on common destiny. Achieving the Nigerian dream requires more than government action alone. It is a call for collective responsibility. The journey towards the ideal Nigeria may not be easy, but hope remains a powerful force.
This is a call to every Nigerian to also wake up to build like our heroes did and also ensure that we build a system. Now, in building, there's something I always like to say, that when you're building a system, don't just do the work. Ensure that you build a system that protects the work that has been done. So as we are building in this season, one thing I would encourage everyone to do is to look at what Nigeria should be in the next 10, 50 years. We should look at what Nigeria would need in the next 100 years and begin to build that structure now. And this is the only way we can create a safe environment for posterity to come.
Nigerian dreams truly mean a better life in a secured environment.
And trying to get it under his control.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Borno State, a land rich in culture, resilience, and agricultural heritage. For generations, farming has remained the backbone of livelihoods across communities. From the fertile plains surrounding Lake Chad to the vast grazing lands across the state, agriculture has sustained millions of families. But in recent years, food security in Borno State has faced enormous challenges, among which are conflict, climate change, displacement, flooding, drought, and economic hardship.
The issue of climate change has affected a lot of farming production because there's change in the weather conditions and a lot of areas experience flooding, which led to wiping away of farmlands. And this led to farmers incurring losses in their production. And moreover, in the northern part of the country, there are a lot of insecurity. This has also prevented farmers from accessing large areas of land for them to increase their production. And the few limited land area they have access to, they cannot really use it for their full production. Like finance, access to credit, access to inputs, and also access to improved facilities like tractors. Most of our farmers don't have access to tractors up till now. So this has really affected their production, which led to them producing at a low level.
Crashing down of price of commodity, of produce, farm produce. If you can see, like sorghum, is that around 18 to 20,000 naira. You have to sell like 3 bags of sorghum, 3 to 4 bags of sorghum before you purchase 1 bag of fertilizer. It is quite challenging. The cowpea, corn, groundnut, all the prices have crashed. Due to the crash of the price of the farm produce, many farmers were running at loss. This is what caused them to abandon their farms and look for another business.
There was flooding in Maiduguri and its environs. And they also, as a result of climate change, for dry season farming, like wheat production, the cool temperature that we actually expected to have for almost 3 months, but we ended getting just for less than 2 months. So coupled with other challenges of high cost of input and other things, really actually bedevil crop production generally.
Yet, amid these struggles, hope is growing once again. This is the story of resilience, innovation, and the determination to secure food for every household. Food security means that every person at all times has access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food needed for a healthy and active life. Food security goes beyond the availability of food in the market. It also includes affordability, accessibility, proper nutrition, and sustainable agricultural production.
For this year, according to NIMED, the season was setting early, and then the season will end early. So early set-in and also early cessation. So we advise our farmers to prepare early, to look for varieties, early maturing varieties, not late maturing varieties. And also to look for varieties that can actually withstand high rainfall. Because between the window of planting to harvest, the expectation is that we may experience even flooding in some part of the country. So we have to get a right variety for the right season. So according to the NIMET projection, the season will come early, it will cease early, and in between there will be heavy downpours. So that's very important. That is why we're having our pre-season training. So during this training, we actually inform our farmers. This is the particular variety that you actually supposed to plant this season. Not everything that you planted last season, then you can come back and plant it this season. So you plant according to the season projection.
Government can come in to really help the farmers. First, it can provide inputs at low prices so that the farmers can now use these inputs for their production. If the government can bring in, there are a lot of low-cost machineries which can really help in boosting the productive activities of these our farmers. And by even doing that, it's going to even encourage our youths, who most of them are unemployed and are roaming the streets. But if the government makes farming to be attractive by providing these small machineries, even our youth can go into production and thereby more will be produced. And also they can come in to stabilize our market prices so that fluctuation in the prices can be reduced. Because in agricultural production, there are a lot of fluctuation in prices of both inputs and the output. The input is affecting the farmers in their production, and the output is affecting consumers. So if the government can now come in and bring in policies to stabilize prices in the market, I think it's going to go a long way in helping both the farmers to produce and also the consumers in consuming food items. And it's going to improve food security in the country.
Well, there are several efforts put in place. Number one is, the most important is the capacity building. The Institute has been actually training farmers, the pre-season training, the mid-season training. So this is very important because when you don't train the farmers, they will not actually practice what you tell them to do, because most of the varieties are actually improved varieties, and they normally comes with the packages. For you to get an improved variety, if you don't adhere strictly to the best practices of that variety, you may end up getting nothing. So we are training farmers, and also in collaboration with state government and other relevant agencies, support has been put in place for subsidy of inputs like seeds, fertilizer, and agrochemicals. I believe they are on the way for farmers to get it at least by 50%.
In Borno State, agriculture remains the primary source of food and income for many households. Crops such as millet, sorghum, maize, rice, wheat, beans, groundnuts, pepper, onions, and vegetables form the foundation of local food systems. Livestock production and fishing also contribute significantly to food supply and economic survival. But when farming activities are disrupted, entire communities become vulnerable.
Like in the northern part, especially northeast, I think it's one of the most factors is this insecurity, which has prevented people from accessing their lands, even though our ID camps have been dispersed. So most of these farmers, when they go back to their communities, they still don't have access to their original farmlands. So their production is still being limited.
When the farmers are running at loss, they must abandon their farms. So the society will face the food shortage, which is this will expose the society to many diseases, malnutrition, and even insecurity. So there is danger in this. Government need to intervene in this. Government need to come in and intervene, so see how they can help the farmers with farm input The farm input are very costly. When you look, the bag of fertilizer is the good one is around 60 to 90,000 per 50 kg. Herbicide is that around 7,000 to 9,000 per liter. All farm input are very high in price. The price is skyrocket, while the farm produce are very low in price. The price have crashed. So all farmers are almost running at loss. That's why they are abandoning their farms. They are looking for another business.
And the cultivation expenses of last year is very high. And what the government import, they decrease below the price of the farmer's price. So this is why the price of the commodity became low. And as such, the farmers lose most of their capital. Even the businessman also, they lose almost half of their capital due to that reason. Had it been the government are buying from the farmers, this will not happen.
The aim of production is for them to make profit. And if at the end of the day they produce and they don't make profit, you expect them they will go back. Because most of them, they don't have enough capital. The little capital they have, and they were able to manage it to produce, and they didn't make profit. So normally, they will not be encouraged to go back into production. But nevertheless, our larger farmers, they shouldn't be discouraged. They should still continue production, because if they don't produce, there's going to be a problem with food production. And if they produce, normally we have what we call the cobweb cycle, whereby due to changes in prices, it affects farmers' production. When prices are high, the farmers increase their production. But when prices are high, consumers don't buy. So this will now make the prices go down again, which will not discourage producers from selling. But if they don't sell, it means people are not going to consume. So if they don't sell, now if they don't produce, it's going to lower the supply in the market. And because of this, it's going to increase prices. So you can find out that next year, if they don't produce, prices are going to increase. So I would now encourage them, they shouldn't be discouraged because of the decrease in prices last year. They should go in and produce again this year, so that hopefully, we hope that next year, prices are going to be appreciable and favorable to them. I will also advise our farmers, they should try and form cooperative organizations. Because when they form cooperatives, when they come together, it can really help them to access credit facilities. It will help them to access inputs for their farms. And when they produce, the cooperatives can also help them to sell their products at good prices, so that they don't end up getting losses at the end of the day. And it's going to also help them in getting improved methods of production. And it's going to create awareness among the members and help them to improve their production.
For more than a decade, insecurity has severely affected agricultural production in Borno State. Thousands of farmers were displaced from their communities, while many abandoned fertile farmlands due to fear of attacks. Access to markets, grazing routes, fishing areas, and irrigation facilities became increasingly difficult. The result has reduced food production, rising food prices, and increased hunger among vulnerable households. To improve food security, government agencies, development partners, and humanitarian organizations are supporting farmers through critical interventions. These include the provision of improved seeds, fertilizers, irrigation support, mechanized farming equipment, livestock vaccination, and farmer training programs. Agricultural extension services are also helping farmers adopt modern farming techniques.
As an institute, our mandate is to support our farmers. This is our core mandate by developing high yielding seed varieties, most importantly, and also drought resistance. So the institute has released about 4 millet varieties recently, which are very high yielding, and also they are drought resistance.
However, most of our farmers don't have access to these improved seeds. because most of them have issue of finance. And then some of them are not even aware of these improved seeds, because there are a lot of problem with our extension agents reaching these farmers. So a lot has to be done in order to improve sensitization and awareness of our farmers about these improved seeds that are being produced by our research institutes.
The institute also, in collaboration with other sister research institutes, we have some seeds of coffee, groundnut, sorghum, and so on and so forth. And also that is why we are calling on our farmers to always reach out to the institute or the reputable seed companies when they are accessing their seed for cultivation. So the era of getting grains in the market as seeds to cultivate is no longer, we are not promoting it. We are also putting a lot of awareness for our farmers to understand that there is actually a huge difference between seeds and also grains.
I am advising government to empower our farmers, subsidize the farm input like tractors, herbicide, certified seeds, improved seeds that are climate smart, so that our farmers will come back to their normal activities again. Government is importing crops that we are farming in Nigeria. Government is importing maize, sorghum, rice from Brazil, Thailand, India and other Asian countries, of which we are producing them in this country. Why not government to empower our farmers or buy from our farmers instead of importing them from foreign countries? So this importation lead to destabilizing the economy of our farmers.
There is scarcity of the commodity. Most of the farmers, they did not harvest, they did not cultivate much as of last year due to lack of capital. And even now, even the fertilizer, all the farming accessories are very cost. They cannot afford it.
There are a lot of policies that have been targeted towards the farmers. For instance, like we have the, anchor borrowers, which was really targeted at the farmers. But unfortunately, when it came to implementation, our problem in Nigeria is implementation. There are a lot of policies that the government has drafted, which are targeted at the farmers. But when it comes to implementation, that is where the problem is. Like at the end of the day, most of the farmers don't really benefit from these incentives or these policies that have been designated. Like in the past, we have been having the government subsidizing fertilizer. But at the end of the day, the real farmers don't get the fertilizers. Those that have access to the fertilizers are those that are not into real farming, who they access these fertilizers and at the end of the day sell it at higher prices to the farmers again.
Partnerships between communities and institutions are helping to restore hope and productivity. Women also play a vital role in food production and household nutrition. Across Borno State, women are actively involved in farming, food processing, livestock management, and market trading. Many women-led cooperatives are strengthening local food systems and supporting household incomes. The future of food security also depends on the active involvement of young people. Today, many youths in Borno State are embracing agriculture as a business opportunity. With access to technology, training, and financial support, young farmers are introducing innovation into food production. Investing in youth agriculture means investing in long-term food security. Despite years of hardship, communities across Borno State continue to demonstrate extraordinary resilience. In many areas, farmers are returning to their lands and rebuilding agricultural livelihoods. Community-led initiatives, farmer cooperatives, and peace-building efforts are helping to revive local economies. Every successful harvest represents renewed hope for families and communities. Achieving sustainable food security in Borno State requires long-term commitment and collective action. Experts emphasize the importance of improved security for farming communities, expansion of irrigation farming, climate-smart agricultural practices, access to agricultural finance, rural infrastructure development, improved storage and transportation systems, farmer education and extension services, support for women and youth participation. Food security is not only about agriculture. It is about stability, health, education, economic growth, and human dignity. When farmers succeed, communities prosper. Borno State's journey towards food security is a story of resilience in the face of adversity. Though challenges remain, the determination of farmers, the support of institutions, and the strength of communities continue to drive recovery and agricultural transformation.
Our mandate is to produce breeder seeds. We have 4 classes of seeds. We have the nucleus seed, the breeder, foundation, and also the certified seed. What the farmers cultivate is called the certified seed. Normally, the farmer gets certified seed from the seed company. But then when you look at in the Northeast, we have a limited number of seed companies. So the institute look at it as a very important. And then we decided to have our own seed company because the mandate bestowed upon us is to produce breeder and foundation seed. We are not mandated to produce certified seed. But then the services of the other seed companies are not that much compared to other northwestern part of the country. So we have a seed company where we are mandated to produce certified seed. So we are serving our farmers through the seed company in accessing the certified seed. But they are all affordable compared to other conventional seed companies.
Food security is possible when peace, innovation, and collaboration work together. So as communities rebuild and agriculture flourishes once again, hope continues to grow across the land. Together, we can build a future where every family has access to sufficient and nutritious food. Because food security is not just about survival, it is about prosperity.
So piece together your time wisely.
Any question?
We face time. Then we now put Rodo in his mouth.
Get me amala with plenty meat, the way I like it. Assorted though.
Nigeria is a nation of over 200 million people, united by diversity, resilience, and hope. For many citizens, the Nigerian dream represents more than survival. It is the belief that every Nigerian deserves dignity, opportunity, peace, and a chance to build a better future. What does the Nigerian dream truly mean? The Nigerian dream is built on the idea of a nation where hard work is rewarded, justice is upheld, and governance reflects transparency and accountability. A country where young people can pursue their ambition without fear, where citizens can confidently aspire to a brighter tomorrow. How can a shared national vision help shape the Nigeria we all desire?
A nation is not built in a day. And what that means is that it takes consistent sacrifice over the years for us to begin to see the fruit of the labor that we have right now.
At the center of this shared vision are values that strengthen discipline, unity, responsibility, and patriotism. National progress becomes possible when citizens begin to see themselves beyond the ethnic, religious, or social differences and instead focus on common destiny. Achieving the Nigerian dream requires more than government action alone. It is a call for collective responsibility. The journey towards the ideal Nigeria may not be easy, but hope remains a powerful force.
This is a call to every Nigerian to also wake up to build like our heroes did and also ensure that we build a system. Now, in building, there's something I always like to say, that when you're building a system, don't just do the work. Ensure that you build a system that protects the work that has been done. So as we are building in this season, one thing I would encourage everyone to do is to look at what Nigeria should be in the next 10, 50 years. We should look at what Nigeria would need in the next 100 years and begin to build that structure now. And this is the only way we can create a safe environment for posterity to come.
Nigerian dreams truly mean a better life in a secured environment.
The Nigerian entertainment space has come a very, very long way. If you think about the very first Nollywood movies, nearly 40 years ago, there's been a lot that has happened since then. And there's still a lot of scope for growth. What I think is kind of hampering us, or why we're not seeing the best, is probably down to kind of the infrastructure, our institutions and the systems that we have in place. But in the past 5-10 years, you're seeing a real explosion. And that's because people are beginning to understand the importance of kind of creating the right infrastructure, the right kind of systems, the right institutions to help us kind of export our culture, because, our culture is really the key to kind of growing our country. It's very exportable. People love it. When we're talking about our culture, I'm talking the fashion, the food, the music, even down to the books that are coming out now. So I think the sky is the horizon, as long as we kind of keep on the right trajectory and, our government kind of continue to support in building the ecosystem. We talk about branding and marketing being probably one of the most important things for a country. And we consistently miss out on opportunities where we can really kind of hone in and use that to be able to tell our stories. You look at a country like Greece, where Thor, the god of war, we've got the same. We've got Ogun, we've got, it's the marketing and the branding that lets people be like, oh, tap into it, and I think that we just need to do a little bit more. Again, the culture is the currency, and they need to
provides many psychological and educational benefits to listeners, especially children. It enhances imagination, which helps to visualize spoken words. It improves vocabulary and leads to a more refined communication skills. This is African Literature on the NTA, Africa's largest television network. I am Nenna Bassi, thanking you for being a great company always.
Storytelling significantly impacts child development.
I wrote the story deliberately going to my father's place because my father is late. So I drew the story from Kogi State, North Central. And when I used to go to the village with my father, the environment there still, but because of circumstances, that's what took Safia to the journey she went through. Then we have Inya. Inya is called Grandma. Safia was very close to her grandma.
she could easily talk to her grandma more than her parents. She found comfort in her grandma. So when she had problems, she ran to her grandma's house. Then we have Merchant Aliu. Merchant Aliu presented his picture like a very nice man, a helpful person. He was the middle man in the trade of cashew crop that Sephia's father was into. When he retired from teaching, he started farming cashew. Malam Ali is one of the main characters that you need to study and understand in the story. So those are my main characters in the story. Very quiet and gentle woman. She was a trader, but she didn't have much of a voice in most situations and most decisions that were made. The decisions that were made in that home was usually by Sephia's father, Adamu. So she didn't have a say. She just had to follow along. But when it came to a point, when Sephia was almost endangered, she stood up for her daughter.
Some themes prominent in Sephia My Child include dreams, girl-child education, and others.
As you all know, train up a girl and you build a nation. That is one most important thing. Train up a girl and you build a nation. And dreams, your dreams give your life wings. So Sephia had a dream from time, even when she was on the farm, repairing little gadgets, thinking of ideas or innovation or creativity, how to make the farm better. So with those ideas, you could see that her mind was open to innovation and creativity and to education. The theme of, and she had a dream. So the theme of allow her dream to have a wing. So that's the two major themes I have for the story.
Celia speaks on her style of writing.
The collection of my stories are mostly descriptive from the viewpoints of the main character. So I use descriptive for especially Sephia My Child. But in Enobong, Adventures of Enobong, it was a narrative story because someone was telling the story. So there are several styles of writing a story that you could choose. You could want to do it from the character's view, habits of reading books. They will grow up with it. So my target audience is as low as 2. Even if you're pregnant, you can take one of those books, maybe like one of my books, I Wish I Can Fly, is for children. It gives them confidence. It tells them they are creative. They are in the secondary school. I've had NGOs buy some of the books because of the advocacy of the book. But we're not yet done. The voice of that book should be as loud as possible, going to the children and telling them when they read it, they're supposed to be encouraged that, if Sephia can do this, I think I can do it too. Because there's one key thing about this story. If Sephia could not read, she would not have found a way out. It's because she was interested in books. So that's the bonding time. That's the spending time. Read a book, you buy a book, you give it to them to read, ask them. So that you even know what is written in that book. Is that book actually a good book for my child? So these days we should learn to find time. I know it's not easy, even if it's on a Saturday. Find time to get the children together. What did you do this week? Okay, I bought one book for you. What did you learn from the book? So it's intentionally creating time to spend with the children, to breed reading culture by example. Because they would like to see what you're doing. Mommy, did you read it? Or even if you had read just the beginning and the end. So yes, I read it. So what do you think about this character? So there's conversation, there's bonding, there's time. So that's what storytelling and book reading does for a family.
The importance of educating a girl child cannot be overemphasized, she states.
Education gives you an edge. We'll breed another uneducated person. Hello, children. This is Auntie Sally. We have so many stories and so many things to talk about. But most important, I want you to remember the 3 important words you have always been taught from small. Thank you, please, I'm sorry. Those 3 words will bring out character in you. When you speak to people, and you say, oh, I'm sorry, oh, excuse me, oh, they look at you differently. So learn to use those words when you speak to people. Learn to be cautious. Learn to be kind. Learn to be compassionate and work hard. Read and you would excel. Focus, concentrate, and you would excel. There's something I say about the mind. The Bible says, guide your mind diligently, because out of it is the spring of life. So what you read, what you watch, what you hear, guide your mind so that only good thoughts come into you and only goodness comes out of you.
Coming up next is a Nigerian woman who's passionate about reaching out to as many children as possible through the soft skill of storytelling, teaching, mentoring, and coaching.
Born Saliat Ogegere Eniton Ata on the 14th of July 1974. Trendy word intentional, but they were very present. Growing up for her was without the bias of religion or tribe. Saliat grew up listening to all languages and music, reading, watching documentaries, and discussing the news with her parents, which the family held as a norm. Saliat attended the stories of how the Zo and Amabasi. She is an author of 4 published children's storybooks and the pedigree citizens.
Do you want to create a sense of depth, complexity, and meaning in your story? Then the next segment will be of help to you. Let's see this.
Diegesis is a term used in literary theory and narratology to refer to the narrative or storyline of a work, as opposed to the plot or the characters. It encompasses the events, actions, and happenings that make up the story, including the setting, characters' thoughts and feelings, and the overall narrative structure. Diegesis can also be said to mean the telling of a story by a narrator. The narrator may speak as a particular character, or may be the invisible narrator, or even the all-knowing narrator who speaks from outside in the form of commenting on the actions of the characters. Diegesis relays information in the fictional work through narrative.